Hello, this is Chad Middleton from Vision Counseling and Vocational Consulting. And we're located in Columbia, South Carolina, where we help veterans get the evidence that they need to lead to a favorable decision of TDIU benefits. If you're new to our channel, you can go back to any of our previous videos to find out what TDIU is. But obviously, because you're on YouTube and you're checking us out, I assume that you know pretty much what TDIU is. But basically, TDIU for the VA is similar to what Social Security is for Social Security disability benefits. The two programs are similar in the process, but they're two totally different. So I want to talk about today some of those differences. Okay, first and foremost, just because you get TDIU benefits from the VA does not mean that you're going to get Social Security benefits from Social Security Administration. Although disability is disability, so to speak, it doesn't translate into the other requirements because the requirements are very different. All right, for the VA, they're only looking for service-connected conditions. So if you have claims pending, you have non-service connected conditions, those conditions cannot be factored into why you're unemployed. Also, you cannot include you're unemployable because you're not making a certain amount of money. You can't find work because the availability of jobs are not there, or you're not able to find work because of your age. Those are factors that cannot be considered with VA. Okay, so when you're considering TDIU benefits, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, I want you to know that if you feel like you're not working because of something that is non-service connected, for instance, you had a fall at work, something happened, or you had a heart attack, okay? And you haven't been able to draw a correlation between your service-connected conditions and that heart attack, then that heart attack cannot be the reason why you're not employable. I do believe a heart attack is a very severely disabling condition, but remember, when you're applying for Social Security and when you're applying for VA benefits, they're only looking for service-connected conditions, okay? So Social Security, however, will factor in all of your disabilities, service-connected and non-service connected. And they also will factor in your age, your education, and any transferability of skills. Remember, Social Security is looking at all types of employment, okay? All your ability to do any type of work, okay? So if you're not able to find work, and you're a younger individual, Social Security will be a little bit harder on you if you're younger. Social Security will also be a little bit more difficult if you're younger and you're educated, because you have education, training, and skills that may be able to qualify for some type of employment, okay? But when we're talking about TDIU benefits, the VA doesn't look at your education, doesn't look at your age, doesn't look at transferability of skills or anything like that. You have to be determined unemployable due to service-connected disability. So your biggest challenge, if you have some pending issues that you feel are causing you to be unemployed, is to get those conditions service-connected. You would need a vocational evaluation in that regard. You need to talk to a doctor. You need to talk to the VA. You need to go get a CMP exam. You need to provide documentation that supports your current condition is related to a condition that is service connected, or your time being in the military, okay? So if you're looking for TDIU benefits, again, if you're looking for TDIU benefits and the reason why you feel like you're unemployed is because of non-service connected conditions, we can't help you. All right. So that's one way that we can help. You can help me is when you come in for a consultation and you're saying that I'm not able to work because I had a work injury on my job back in 2020, or if you say I'm not working because I had to take care of my disabled wife, and that's the reason why I stopped working. Well, that's non-service connected. Now, I understand. I don't mind you sharing that with me, but I'm going to get you back to a place where, okay, how does these conditions stop you from working? You got sleep apnea, you have skin condition, razor bumps, you have flat feet. All right, you're a total of 70, 60%. How are those conditions stopping you from working? I would suggest that they don't. 50% sleep apnea, they put you on a CPAP machine. Razor bumps doesn't stop you from performing any specific job. And flat feet, if your flat feet cause you a 10% rating, or provided you a 10% rating, and you're unable to stand for prolonged periods, the VA will still say, well, yeah, there's still jobs that you can perform. And I would agree. Okay, so you have to show that your service-connected conditions are significant enough to stop you from working. And what I like to do is have a report to support what you feel are your most debilitating disabilities. Okay, all right. So as you're listening, I want you to think about your disabilities. I want you to think about your functional limitations. How is your disability, your one condition that you have, your 2, 3, 4, 5 conditions, stopping you from performing certain types of work? All right. Now, just because you have an impairment doesn't mean that you have total disabled. All right. It doesn't mean that you're totally unemployable. All right. So if you have, let's say, for instance, again, flat feet, and you're not able to perform prolonged walking for a long periods of time, and you have shoe insoles or you have inserts, that condition is an impairment, but that impairment doesn't preclude you from performing all types of employment. There are jobs that may not require as much standing and walking. So those jobs will be considered vocational options for you. But you might say, well, Chad, I don't have a degree to perform that job. Well, remember, education or the lack of education cannot be the reason why you feel like you're unemployable. Okay? Hopefully this is making sense to you. But as you are looking at your individual disabilities, I am going to ask you in a consultation, how are these individual disabilities stopping you from working? What is the impairment where I cannot perform prolonged standing and walking? I can't climb ladders and steps. My migraine headaches are severely debilitating, and I'm having migraines 2 days out of the week, and I'm unable to concentrate. These are things that are considered functional limitations. And when I apply these limitations to jobs that are listed in the national economy, then I should be able to, on your behalf, say that there are no jobs that will allow for these particular conditions, okay, or these limitations. With the Social Security Administration, they factor all these things in, and they also consider your education and transferable skills. If you're unable to stand and walk for prolonged periods of time, but you have a master's degree, and that master's degree qualify you for jobs that will be administrative or sedentary in nature, then you may have been able to overcome your disabilities with your education. All right. But there's a certain threshold where age becomes a non-factor, or education becomes a non-factor. Say, for instance, you got a degree in 1980 and you're now 55 years old. That education, that training, those transferable skills may be non-existent today and may put you in a different category where you're able or to receive Social Security disability benefits. Okay, so I am a vocational expert. Okay, I'm very familiar with Social Security rules. I'm also very familiar with VA rules as it pertains to disability. What you need, sir or ma'am, is a report, a vocational report that is going to support you in any type of claim when you go before these boards, right? You won't have no one like me sitting in next to you to state whether or not you can work. But a report will be a representative of vocational evaluation or vocational expert that supports how we determine that there are no jobs that you could perform based on these findings. We do research. We explore the over 12,000 jobs that are listed in the national economy. We explore them. We're very familiar with medical terminology. We're very familiar with the demands of jobs, how many jobs exist in the national economy, the exertional requirements for different types of jobs, as well as the education and training to perform certain types of jobs, even unskilled jobs and where they are located at and how will they perform. Okay, so a vocational expert and a vocational expert report is what you need to support your claim. Okay, now let me say this. For VA benefits, you don't necessarily have to have a vocational evaluation report. You don't. But my experience is without it, it's very difficult to get it. Okay, I've seen people get denied TDIU benefits because they say they would like to return to work. Denied. I've seen people get denied for TDIU benefits because they're working part-time as an Uber driver. And they've been working in that position less than 6 months. Denied. Okay. So I've even seen situations where during the CMP exam, you say something that is held against you in a CMP exam and you're denied TDIU benefits. So what you have to do is get some expert to speak on your behalf. I am an expert, vocational expert. I've been working in vocational rehabilitation for over 20 years. Okay, I have the knowledge, the skills, the abilities, the terminology to provide you a report that's going to support whether or not you can work. Okay, now, do I feel like everyone is not able to work? No, I do not. So because we go through this evaluation process, I'm going to examine your medical records. I'm going to examine your work history. I am going to look at your overall rating decision and determination, things that doctors have said about your condition, and translate that into functional impairments or limitations that will help me determine whether or not there are jobs that you can perform. If I determine that after reviewing the evidence that I can make a statement about your inability to perform work, I have no problems of doing that. All right, I'll put my name, my reputation, my credentials on the line for you and stand by it. Okay, and that is what you need. Someone who is going to, or something, not just someone, something that's going to represent you and be credible as you go before these boards, Social Security, VA, workers' comp. I just did a report for a veteran that railroad disability. That's what it was. I just did a report for a guy who had railroad disability. He was trying to get disability from the railroad. It was a challenging report, took a lot of time, but we provided him a very thorough report, and we believe that that report is going to lead to a favorable decision by the railroad industry, for lack of a better term. So if you've been looking at these videos, I appreciate it, especially those vets that are ready and prepared. By the time they come to see me, they already have their stack of medical records. They already have their resume. They already have their rating decisions, their award letters, and they're giving me that information up front. I love it because it makes my job a little bit more easy. Sometimes I get veterans to send me information and I'm seeing stuff in the records that won't help them. Okay, or they don't give me records to support what they say in their initial consultation. Now, guys, I will not write a report based on what you say, but what you say can help me if it supplements what's in your medical records. Okay, because I want to be able to speak for you in this report so that this report can be a fluent document that's going to talk about why you feel like you're not able to work and why you haven't been able to work, and what the records say about your inability to do certain activities. Okay, so please consider getting your stuff together, get all your things together, and by the time we either do a webinar or individual consultation, you will have everything that you need to start in the next step of the process. I'd like for you to start right away. And I'm hoping that if you're starting right away, we can have you awarded VA TDIU benefits before the end of the year. All right. I've done a report for someone. They contacted me on a Thursday, and told me that they had a hearing on Monday. He wanted a report ASAP. It was a challenge, but what I had to do was I had to work. He had his stuff together. I had to work, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was able to get him his report by his hearing time. And his words were, Chad, we went into the hearing. I presented my vocational evaluation report. They skimmed through it, went to the last page, read what you said, looked at the attorney that I had coming in with me, and closed it and awarded my TDIU benefits. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. I love it when a report does what it's supposed to do. Okay. So please, guys, I'm making this disclaimer that we don't guarantee that you're going to get VA benefits, because this is a system that you're working with. It's not a person that's making the determination that you're not disabled. It is a system that you're working with. But I'd like to, if you have all of your documentation in place, have your stuff in a way that as soon as we get that VA, that vocational evaluation, that all the VA would do is to look at it and award your benefits. I say it's very hard for them to deny you if a vocational expert says that there's no jobs that you can perform because of these limitations. It's very hard. It's very hard. And if they deny you based on the report, they have to have another vocational evaluator to say what my report misses, or that my report is wrong. Okay. And doctors don't like to provide an opinion about work issues. One doctor can disagree with another doctor on your back, your knees, your eyes. All right. But a doctor is going to have a challenge in talking about work-related issues. Okay. So I didn't intend for this video to be this long, but I wanted to provide you some information about TDIU, how it relates to Social Security. I know I didn't go into great detail about Social Security, but I think you get the gist. They look at all disabilities. I'm starting to do a little bit more Social Security evaluations, but it's more extensive. It takes a little bit more time. So if you're interested in a Social Security type of evaluation, we'll consider it, but it's going to be hard for me to consider it if you don't have your documentation in place. Okay, so make sure you get your medical documentation. Provide for me any award letters that you have. Your resume is going to be very important, because what you did has to be ruled out. Past work has to be ruled out. First thing that VA and Social Security does is they look at your past jobs. Can you return to past work? All right. That answer is no. The question is, can you perform any other type of work? Okay. So get in contact with me, our office. You can either email us at onevision, that's the number one, vision.counseling@gmail.com. Or you can call us at 803-563-5087. Also, you can go to our website and you can sign up for our webinar on your own. You go to our website at www.vcandvc.com. You can scroll to the events page and sign up for our webinar. The next webinar, I believe, is in July the 21st. Now, if you're trying to do an individual consultation with me, individual consultation, right now we're in June. My next availability, I think, is sometime in August. I have that many people that's lined up to see me. But a quicker way for you to get in for your consultation is participating in the webinar. The webinar expedites you seeing me. I answer a lot of questions during the webinar. And the only thing you would have to do after the webinar is start sending me documentation for the assessment portion. Remember, there's 3 levels of our evaluation. There's a consultation, there's an assessment, and then there's the report. Okay. Once you go from the consultation to the assessment, then if we agree that we can do a report for you, you pay for your report, and at least 30 days, 30 to 45 days from the time you pay for your report, I will get your report in your hand or virtually so you can review it for its accuracy. Okay. But again, we love what we do. We love helping vets. I'm passionate about what it is I do. And I'm hoping that and a lot of my veterans are now calling me, I'm getting calls weekly about people who have been awarded TDIU benefits and now they want help with Social Security. All right. So if you're listening to these TDIU videos, get your ducks in a row. Contact our office, get in for a webinar if you want to start to expedite the process, or schedule an individual consultation so that you can talk to me one-on-one about what it is, the circumstances. What are the circumstances pertaining to why you're unable to work? Okay. Again, this is Chad Middleton, Vision Counseling, Vocational Consulting. I look forward to talking to you. I'm so very grateful to be in this place, to be able to help veterans out. Give us a call, check us out on the web, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. God bless you.